Imagine your credit score is like a plate of potatoes. If you eat your potatoes nicely and don't drop them, people, like banks, see that you're responsible. That's a high credit score. They'll trust you to get you more potatoes later. But if you spill your potatoes or eat them messily, people worry you won't handle potatoes responsibly. That's a low credit score. They might not give you more potatoes or might make you work really hard for them. In the real world, your credit score works kind of like your potato management. If you borrow money and pay it back on time, people see that you're reliable. And banks and lenders are more likely to trust you. If you miss payments or borrow more than you can handle, people remember it. And next time, they'll loan you less or charge extra interest to make sure you don't waste theirs. Basically, your credit score is a number that shows how good you are at handling money. A good credit score gets you cheaper loans, lower insurance premiums, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing you're financially stable. A bad score, higher interest rates being ignored by landlords, and the kind of judgment normally reserved for people who put pineapple on pizza. In America, credit scores range from 300 to 850. People with good credit are usually 720 or higher. Anything below 650 can make borrowing harder or more expensive. Between 550 and 650, there's an abyss filled with rejected loan applications. Below 550, you're in poor credit territory, the kind where lenders politely back away. Now, your credit score depends on 5 things. The first and most important factor is how well you pay back borrowed money, such as from a credit card, a car loan, or a student loan that feels like it's following you around like a sad dog. Next is how much do you owe? Owing a little is fine and dandy, but owing too much makes you look risky. Then there's credit history, basically how long you've had a credit card or loan. The longer you've handled it responsibly, the better your score. Next, there's credit mix. This measures the different kinds of money you borrow, like cards, home loans, or a car loan. Showing you can handle a few types makes your score look better. Stick to one type and they worry you'll melt under pressure. Finally, there's new credit. Every time you apply for a loan or card, lenders notice. Do it too often and they think you might be desperate. Credit didn't always work this way. Back in the day, banks judged you by character, whether you seemed trustworthy or at minimum owned a decent hat. Unfortunately, that also meant if you were a woman or the wrong color, you probably didn't get any potatoes. So, to remove human bias, we handed decision-making to computers and now the discrimination is automated. Some employers also check scores before hiring, because nothing says strong work ethic like paying your visa bill on time. And in dating, your credit score can be an important topic. Telling your date you have a bad credit score can be a red flag, something even a puppy may not salvage. Here's the weird part. Even having no debt can hurt your score. You think living debt-free means you're responsible, but credit scores don't reward that kind of behavior. If you've never borrowed, there's no record of you returning borrowed money. That means they don't have enough history for the system to score you at all. To get a good score, you have to borrow money and pay it back. Not borrowing? Suspicious. Borrowing too much? Reckless. Being the perfect borrower is a lot like drinking wine. One glass says you're in control. The whole bottle says your couch may be on fire. Oddly, your credit report doesn't include rent or utility payments or the fact that you've never stolen a stapler at work. Apparently, paying rent for a decade counts less than how you managed a credit card back in 2018. In fact, your credit score can rise or fall for seemingly inexplicable reasons. You can lose points for closing a credit card, even if it's because you finally paid it off. You can gain points by taking on debt you don't need, as long as you do it responsibly. There are people trying to fix this. Some people want rent and utility payments to count. Others think we should scrap the whole thing and start over. But for now, if you want to win the system, you have to play along.